Hey Art Fam, it's Luis Martin, the Art Engineer, and welcome to the Safe Space. Welcome to Collage Dream. Can you see it? I had to read it. I'm like, wait, is this the right one? You guys, it's September, like that, right? We're in the middle of September, and I'm super excited because now I have both kits, the digital kit, the diary, and the paper kit. So I'm going to use both of them today. So let's open shop. Are you ready for this? It's always so temperamental. Oh, there it is. It's always so temperamental, you guys. I feel like I need a little bit more light. It's a little gloomy today, but it's still steamy. Or is it steamy where you are? Okay, so welcome. I hope you are well. Tell your friends to follow, subscribe, go to Collage Dream, and I've been thinking about like Collage Dream, and I realize, because you have to do this every once in a while, right? Like ask, what the heck am I doing? And I realize that what the heck am I doing with Collage Dream is I'm giving you creative license through collage. Like that's all I want to do, right? So think about that. Does that ring true to you? Let me know in the comments. Okay, so I want to collage, but then I also, guess what? I finally finished reading this iceberg of a book, and it's wonderful. And I have some notes that I want to share with you because, I mean, what's the point of reading 400 pages and not coming away, plus 400 plus, and not coming away with something to share, right? I'm hot. All right. How are you? What are you drinking? I have my seltzer water today. So after I got like sick that time, I was like, I need to figure out what to take because I'm healthy according to my doctor. So I started taking more ginseng, and I feel really good actually. I started taking mate, tea, not matcha, mate, which is from the Andes in Peru and Argentina, Bolivia. They have this little gourd that they just sip on all day, and it's really weird. It's very sweet because it's very communal. Like, I'll take a sip and then I'll pass it to the person next to me, and they'll pass it back. Listen, it works for them. It keeps them really healthy. Apparently, it's also really good for altitude. For the altitude, it's great. So I took that. I haven't had coffee today, and I feel pretty good. So I even went out for a jog, you guys. I love jogging, but I don't do it a lot because I don't want to leave my house. Okay, so see, I'm already super wired, and I haven't had coffee, so I guess the mate is a good thing. All right, are you ready for this? Okay, so this is the kit that I used in my video last week, and I still have things in there that I wanted to work with, right? So if you remember, we had these shoes, and I'm sure I made a pile of, Mel Brooks is still here. I love this hand. Okay, maybe I'll use this little boy. I don't know. We'll put him to the side. Because the idea is mixing them both today and see what happens. Hawk name. Okay, let's just jump right in, you guys. Alright, what do I think about these guys? I don't know. I never feel comfortable wearing white clothes. I'm very messy. I'm very messy. Oh, this was cool. Remember this? These guys that I tore to shreds from Ab Envy. No, I'm kidding. Maybe I'll play with that. Why not? Okay, this guy. Oh, Angel Olsen, you're still here. Okay, I think this is what really excited me. Yeah. Okay, I'll play with this, and then on top of that, I have my Collage Dream Diary number 2. You guys, if you haven't gotten this, please get your hands on this. If you're a current member of the paper kit and you want to audit this, meaning you want to check it out for free, let me know. I will send you a copy, and possibly you join on that level as well, you guys, because come on. Okay, let's not hold back here. Okay, so I love this. I'm going to use this. Love this. Love this. Actually, what I wanted to do is this. This was calling my name, as was this. This I just want to put on the wall. I think I'll do that in a minute. This is a mantra. I love that. I mean, and I also can't go wrong with this guy. Okay, so let's see what transpires, you guys. Okay, so last Thursday we were back. Let me get my little tray. I hope you are as organized as I am today. It's not always. My little tray of stuff that I want to use. Last week, we went live on Instagram for the first time since June, I want to say. And it was fun. I did the mashup. I gave out 3 random prompts. I made some cards that I'm developing into something special for later. But I think it was just as painful as it was for the members in the Hangout. People were like, the people were there, they didn't leave, but I just thought it was funny because it is a challenge. It is a challenge, and you know, I see the value of a challenge. So I'm not gonna do it this Thursday, the mashup. I will go live, but I have some magazines I wanted to catch up on that I haven't chopped up, and I need to do that. Okay, let's see. So this is here. All right, so like I said, I finished reading the Keith Haring book, and it was a long haul. It was like 450 pages long. I carried that book everywhere I went. Didn't read it all the time, but I just carried it and felt very, I don't know. It's weird to have someone's life in a book, right? It's just beautiful and weird, and I really expected to just like, you know, ball out when he dies, when he finds out he has AIDS, but I didn't. I think the writer did a really good job of not milking the melodrama, but also I think Keith Haring as a person didn't have that victimized mentality that I think can happen when you get sick, right? I mean, that was stunning. It was beautiful, actually, come to think of it. I don't know if I recommend it. I'm not a Keith fan. I'm not a Keith Haring fan. I never have been. Maybe when I was a kid. But I enjoy his energy. I enjoy the fact that he's a queer artist. And, you know, I had my own political... not issues, but just kind of like, well, you know, he's a street artist that made it really big because he had the agency to make it really big, right? Opposed to all the graffiti artists from the same place that he was working at in the Lower East Side, who were really sticking their neck out, making art in the streets, who didn't have that exposure or that agency because they were Latino, black. So that always kind of struck me the wrong way. But I had to put that aside. As a brown person, as a person of color, you always have to put a lot of things aside to kind of see the broader picture, right? So I did that. I think that's why it took me forever to read the book, because I had to mentally prepare, like, okay, right? So anyway, it was good. And, okay, I might as well share my notes with you now, right? Okay, so this is the book. It's by Brad Gooch. Great last name. He also did a biography, which I'm sure is just as long, on this great poet, Frank O'Hare. He was from Chicago, I think, but he lived in New York, and he's even mentioned in here, which was great. So pick it up. I mean, it's a good resource. It's just a beautiful, honestly, I saw this at a museum, and just the cover alone was like, made me really excited, and I thought, this is something I want to touch, I want to hold, I want to feel, I want to get into, and that's what drove me to buy it. And then I stuck to it. Okay, so what am I saying? I love this, you guys. Okay, so I'm gonna play with this. Okay, so here I have six notes on what made Keith Haring such a dynamic artist. For lack of a better word, dynamic. I know it's a cheap 2-for-1 word. Okay, so the first one is he was really into collaborations, you guys. Like, and of course, I can only filter what I'm saying through my experience. And me personally, I had been a loner. I had been very introverted for most of my life because of trauma. And, you know, I thought, well, who wants to talk to me? Who wants to collaborate with me? Who cares about anything I do, right? So collaboration had always been a mystery to me until I changed it in 2012 when I really jumped into the deep end of the pool. And yeah, life changes when you open the door and you let people into your practice and you invite people in. Obviously, not everybody, right? You invite, you collaborate with people who understand what you're doing for the most part. It doesn't have to be the same thing, obviously, because what's the point of having, two... Actually, that's not true. I was gonna say, what's the point of having two zebras in a room? That's fantastic. So it does that. I don't think that's the point. I just think you just have to be with people who bring something special that you don't, that complements what you have. Right? It doesn't have to be the same. It doesn't have to be opposite. It just has to complement. So he was big into the club scene. He collaborated with DJs. He would invite them to his openings, and he would spotlight them. He would spotlight them. He was a champion of his other artist friends. He was friends with Madonna, and I think he even did a cover for her. He was great friends with Basquiat, with Warhol. So he was he collaborated with a lot of graffiti artists from the Lower East Side and really did well by them. He collaborated them and paid them so much money, more money than they could possibly make in a year for one collaboration, and it was very honest about these business transactions. He was a great businessman. So that was great. So that was one takeaway that I took, and I was like, yes, let me write this down. I'm left-handed, but right now I'm using my right hand. So that was cool. Okay, so the second one was, and this is a zinger, you guys. He really believed that sharing his work, propagating his work, was for the better of the world. And that sounds very simplistic, but it's so fucking true. So like, as artists, we make things and we keep it, or we hide it, or we just don't care. We don't share it because we're scared of criticism. But if you're an artist and you believe that, listen, I'm doing God's work, I'm doing things that need to be said, I'm doing something that's important, and look at it, there's something here for you, right? That attitude, that mentality will just skyrocket you, right? So for Keith, he just wanted to propagate his work everywhere. He did it in the subways, he did it in murals on walls, he would volunteer at hospitals. I mean, he was just all about it. He was all in on his dream. I love that. And it really paid off. And yeah, so I think that attitude bleeds into a lot of his other a lot of the other reasons he was successful. But I think if I can highlight one for us as a collective, is that one, right? Like, really believe that what you're doing is good for humanity. Like, there's so many people doing horrible things right now in the world that you creating art, you're holding your end of the sky up. You know what I mean? So keep doing what you're doing and really share it. Like, I want to see it. So keep doing that. Okay. The third one, and this is a good one too. He was as generous as he was ambitious, and that's like super fucking cool. Again, here I am with the cursing. I don't know why, because I'm really excited. Is what it is. Yeah, I think a lot of times people equate being ambitious with being like greedy or being self-centered, and self-centered is not a bad thing if it's aligned. But anyway, so he was as ambitious as he was generous. I told you that he would do collaborations with all these artists, and he would really bring them. He wouldn't. I don't know. He wouldn't take the bigger end of the stick, or he wouldn't hog up all the spot. I don't know. There was something just very generous about him. Not only doing things for free, but also camaraderie, right? Which is a big thing. So that was a really good one. Okay. Number 4. Oh, number 4 is interesting. He really allowed himself to be inspired and to take influences and references into his work from everywhere, right? I think a lot of times sensitive people are like, oh, I don't want to copy, or I feel bad, or no, this guy. And again, this is kind of where the whole race issue can come into play, which I think on the onset kind of like irked me a little bit, because he was very much influenced by graffiti art, right? Which is predominantly done by black kids, Puerto Rican kids in New York at the time, and he kind of was influenced, and he took it and he rolled with it. And again, because he had that privilege, he got more attention. He got arrested maybe once or twice, and you know, he was like slapped on the head because he was a cute kid, you know, making graffiti. So it was just a different gravity for him, right? So that was a thing. But he was also very much influenced by Egyptian art. He was influenced by cartoons. He was influenced by many things, and he was very open about where he got his references. So I think as artists, we do not operate in a vacuum. Like, everything under the sun has already been said, but no one was listening. So say it again. Someone said that. I didn't say that. Someone said that, and I was like, yeah, right? Because imagine if I'm talking about ice cream. Right now, I'm talking about dairy-free, vegan ice cream. I'm talking about almond ice cream, almond milk ice cream. That didn't exist in the 40s. When we're talking about ice cream in the 40s, what are we saying? We're talking about pure milk, probably, untampered by chemicals. So we're all talking about something slightly different when I say it in my voice than when you say it in your voice, right? So we're always adding to the conversation, and I think that's really important to keep in mind. I'm literally just kind of like having fun here, which is the whole point. Okay, so the next one, number 5. I just have 2 more. This was a good one. Number 5, he was okay with wanting to be famous. Like, he had absolutely no shame in wanting to be rich and wanting to be famous. Actually, I don't know. I mean, he was ambitious. The money came, and I don't know necessarily he was after the money. I mean, he was a good businessman, so I'm sure he was aware of it. But let me tell you, he made tons of money. Like, he would fly his friends to Paris and stay at the Ritz. He would fly them to Tokyo. He opened a shop, you guys. Oh, that's the most brilliant thing I've ever heard. He had anyway, he had money. So he was okay with that. You know, and anytime you feel like blocked by something, it's usually because you have a blocking idea about it, right? So if you want to have a beautiful, peaceful life in a ranch with lots of animals, but you don't want money because you think it's the root of all evil, guess what? How are you going to get that ranch? How are you going to feed those animals, right? So he was perfectly okay with schmoozing. He was perfectly okay. And remember, he was into collaboration, so he was a people person in that sense of the word. So that really facilitated that desire, right? When we're talking about manifestation, that's what we're talking about, right? Like, are you okay with the things you want? How can you bring them to you, right? So that's really cool. Okay, and the last one that I think sums up the whole journey, or the whole book, really. He had an immense joy for life. You know, I was literally in for the haul of just like being at Starbucks and like crying my eyes out when his death came. I was at home when I was reading that part, but it wasn't tragic because he was okay. He said, you know, this makes life even better because I know, like, everybody's time is finite, but I know that I have to do something right now in the present and the foreseeable future until it's over. And I thought, yeah, like, that was really, really beautiful. They didn't go into too much detail about his journey with AIDS. They did talk about I forget the word, the Sarkozy lesions that he had. I mean, it was just that, it was tough. It was really tough to read and to know that was just a few years ago, you guys. It was in a blink of an eye. So, AIDS is still around. It's still a thing. And there are tons of medications right now, like PrEP, that people can take that prevents them from catching the virus if they're exposed to it. I mean, there's all these things, and it comes with caveats, of course. But wow, I can't imagine what he would think of that, right? And again, always, even when he got sick, there wasn't the sense of shame, there wasn't the sense of victimhood, right? And I think as a society, we have to be aware of that, and we can't blame people for for our lives. I mean, you know, we take responsibility, but we can't. There's a bigger picture, I think, is what I'm trying to say. So it was a great book. I mean, there are other there's other books on his life, obviously. This one's pretty comprehensive, but that's that. So the next book I'm reading is a business book, of course, because you need to balance it up. A business book on how to start a business with $100. Listen, I love business books, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, so look, I just created this little thing over here, and then I wanted to add this, and you see how it just comes along because there's just so much texture. Look at this. Even just together, you guys. All right, so I'm gonna cut this into strips, and I'm gonna play a song for you. I have been shut down, so I think I'm okay with that. So I know about this. I knew about this record when it came out, and it was great. But then I heard the art. Then I bought a vinyl of the artist alone without the remixes that I'm going to play for you. His name is Gil Scott Heron, and he was from DC, and he was a very brilliant poet and musician, and he was the one that said the revolution will not be televised. Just Google that. This guy's amazing. And again, this is an artist that's so brilliant, he could never be on TV, right? Like, he's just speaking truth, and it's just beautiful. This one, what I'm going to play for you now, is kind of a remix, a very contemporary take on his spoken word, and it's just brilliant. Okay, so I'm gonna play. I was gonna play one called "Running," which is a little bit more like hip hop beats, but the beginning is what really sold me on the album. So tell me what you think.
Met a woman in a bar, so I was hard to get to know. Near about impossible to forget. Should have had an ego on me. Size of Texas. New Year. And I forget. That means big, small. And I'm shedding teeth like a snake. It may be crazy, but I'm the closest thing I have to a voice of reason.
Are you feeling it? All right, this is so cool. Met a woman in a bar, so I was hard to get to know. Near about impossible to forget. What did you think? Wasn't that wild? Oh, it's so beautiful. So this is the album. It's called We're New Here. It's Gil Scott Heron and Jamie XX, who is a really brilliant DJ guy extraordinaire. Yeah, wasn't that deep? Oh, I actually just bought Gil Scott Heron's memoir. I'm really excited about reading that too. But I have to, like, balance it out, right? Like business, memoir, a little bit more business, a little witchcraft. So I'm excited about all that stuff. Guys, there's so much to get inspired by. Get with it. Okay, so look at this. I mean, again, there's just so much in these kits, you guys, and here I am totally selling it to you, that you just need a little music and a ruler, I guess. I don't know. This is gonna be really fun, you guys. So I'm working on a few things, you guys. I've been super busy, which is probably why I got sick. Honestly, you gotta listen to your body. You can run the marathon, but prepare for it. I enjoy running myself ragged. I'm a bit of a workaholic when it comes to stuff like this, like art and everything. So I've been working and on a few things. There is this annual zine fair that I've been doing for the past 3 years, I think, not consecutively, but I've done it 3 times. And it's this Saturday at the Gay and Lesbian Center here in the city, where actually Keith Haring has a bathroom that he painted. Now it's a conference room, but they commissioned him and he painted these beautiful sexual drawings, very almost Egyptian-esque. So the event is going to take place there, and I created a zine, which is a collection of poetry and collages that I've been posting on Instagram, and it's amazing to put them together and just kind of see what I've been doing in my own eyes, right? Because it's small, consistent things that really add up to something. Sometimes we don't feel like we're working enough, but then you kind of step back, bring it together, and you're like, oh, I've been doing things. Yeah, so I'm really excited about that. If you're in New York, please come visit. It's this Saturday, 11 to 5 at the center, the New York Queer Zine Art Fair. I also have this beautiful zine that I created for the fair, a different one. This is an actual paper zine done in the fashion of the one and only Terry Garrett. And it's saucy, of course. It's called Flower and Men, which is also the name of the kit that I had created a few months back. And I used these images to illustrate a poem that I wrote. So, come one, come all. Actually, if you remember, let me know if you want one. I'll put one in your kit. Because I made a bunch. I was like, I love this. And it's so funny because, again, they're saucy, and it's folded, and then in the back there's a poster of these two men wrestling, which is the cover of the collage kit. And there's nudity. There's these two men wrestling with erections, and it's beautiful. And I thought, oh, I'm gonna blow one up so I can put it behind my booth. And I go to Staples, and the woman who works there, Angela, who's now my friend, she's like, are you happy with the prints? How does it look? And she opens it in front of everybody. I'm like, fantastic. Thank you, Angela. I'm telling you. And angels are everywhere, Angelas. So that was really fun. You have to be shameless, you guys. You really do. Because, again, just like Keith Haring, it's kind of like, listen, I'm doing God's work, and God's work also manifests in erections and beautiful men, as well as pearls and diamonds. Diamonds and pearls. Remember that song? That was a good one. Okay, so this is going somewhere, you guys. I said I wanted to use some of this, but at the end of the day, I didn't. Actually, I'm gonna put this here. I would love some color, some strong. Ooh, look at this. I'm gonna use the black. Oh, there were stickers too, huh? I'm telling you, I feel, you know what? When I went to college, I was a little bit older already because I had already had a career in museums, and I was like, I need to go to art school. I remember getting my list of materials and buying all of the paints. And on the first day, we were on the floor because you're in art school, right? And the teacher said, okay, spread out your paint tubes so we can go over them. I made my little spread. I felt like Harry Potter. I felt like, oh my God, like this is it. I just wanted to see everything and just be so inspired. It wasn't that straightforward, honestly, because my school they weren't as inspired, but I was inspired, right? So again, it always goes down to you, right? What are you gonna make of this? Not what is already there, right? But this is how I feel right now with all these images that I put together for you. I just think sometimes we need like a nice graphic line. Okay, so the zine fair is coming up, like I said. And then, after that, you guys, it's my favorite month of the year. Actually, it's season, not month. It's the Day of the Dead. The Day of the Dead's coming, you guys. Hello, it's the Day of the Dead. I love Halloween, but it's always Halloween in my house, so, you know, I'm not necessarily that excited about it. Talking about Halloween. Look at the wand. Do you remember why that's there? Your word is your wand. So I'm really excited about the kit that I'm putting together. And I must say, Elvis has gone all out because he's kind of like he's become the director of fun. Because I'm very serious. You know when it comes from me, when it's deep and like the collective image, that's going to be beautiful. And again, that's me. It's deep. It's going to make you cry. It's going to want to make you cry, or that's my aim. But when it's from Elvis, it's like, look, fun, confetti. So I'm really happy. Okay, look at this. See, it just kind of plays, it gives the eye a place to rest, honestly. That's what these colors do. Okay. Has anybody gone apple picking yet? I don't think it's the season just yet. Look, and why throw that away, right? We can use this too. Maybe we'll put that right here. Also, Folsom is coming up. If anyone knows about Folsom, it's that wonderful sex-positive party in San Francisco. I just might have to go to that again. I went last year and I was so moved by just all of the inclusivity and all the beauty and all of the people and all shapes and sizes and shades. And I mean, we're beautiful, guys. Humanity is just... And we need to be able to express that. And it felt like it was being expressed very well there. Okay. So I'm just going to put some finishing touches, and I think I'm going to be done here. And let's see what works. All right, so let me know what resonated with you from that list that I shared about my takeaways for Keith Haring. I'm sure there are more. I mean, 400 pages. I'm sure there are tons more, but these are the ones that resonated with me, and yeah, I love it. Okay, can you imagine? Yes, I can imagine, actually. Just, I'll be like, hey, what are you doing? Great. Here's a ticket. Let's go to Paris. Meet me at the Ritz. Yes, I want all of that. And yes, I'll totally do that. So I'm all about that life, my friends, and I'm okay with it. I'm okay with my desires of abundance. So let's make it happen, shall we? I love him so much. I mean, I don't want this to go to waste. Okay, here we go. So the pre-sale for the zine starts this Friday. So if you're on my mailing list, you'll get a link to that, and it'll be for sale. And it's a collection again of poetry and collages, and I'm really excited about it. So thank you all for being so supportive of my practice. And thank you for being part of it, honestly. Inside it says the zine is very much dedicated to the art fam. Thank you. All right, so let's take a look at this. Am I done? I think I'm done. I mean, it's just, I just dropped the stickers and I kind of wanted to play with that. Let's see. I love it. It's a neutral. Let's see if I can play with this. Why not? I mean, at this point, I'm a maximalist. Let me embrace it. Yes. And then I can use this guy and put that over here. Yes. Okay, so let's talk about it. Okay, so this is all from, actually it turned out to be all from the diary. So this isn't even from the paper kit, this is from the diary. And again, that invitation to my members, if you're in the art fam and you have a paper kit and you want to audit this, meaning you want to try it out for free, send me a message and I will send you one so you can play with it and see what you think and possibly join on another level. Let's meet on all levels. I really love this because I really wanted to make something with the jewels and just something that's like full of life and happy. Take a look at the central image, and it's an Aztec or a Mexica ancient pottery, and it's just so full of joy. Does this remind you of anything? Because a lot of people have been influenced by this type of imagery and pottery from the Mexican culture. And does it remind you of this is Halloween, this is Halloween? Tim Burton was super inspired. If you ever go to the Metropolitan Museum or to any museum that has Mesoamerican art, it's Nightmare on Elm Street. Nightmare Before Christmas, literally in stone, like in clay. Go check it out. It's beautiful. And I think actually my favorite thing, my touch, was this, the sticker that I put, because to me it's this message of it's a continuation, right? Like what is going this way is also going that way, and they converge, and it's a never-ending loop of whatever you want it to be. So this is it, you guys. This is my collage. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you've had an opportunity to get your kids and just filling it with joy. All right, this is Luis Martin, the art engineer, reminding you that everything you do matters. So fill it with joy, fill it with joie de vie. All right, that's my French for today. I will see you here, there, and everywhere you take your phone. Cheers.